welcome to the next episode of my railway build. Today is mainly testing, so I've got the full length layout put together for test runs, just like at a show. And that show is actually rather quickly approaching. So we've got the sign on the back of the layout, which is magnetically held on. Magnets which I am going to have to glue back into place, because I never actually did that when I first installed them. So that's basically all the sign is held on by. Got our signals operational as we've powered that up. The digital control. Now we've got a little signal box. So that just goes in. 3D printed mount. Elastic band underneath. Little printed bit in there which that clips onto. In a minute I'll plug that in so we can turn it on. On the layout today we've got a few bits of rolling stock, including my modified Pullman observation car, so it's got a coupling at the front. We've got my 2-car DMU 170. 3 nice coaches all lit up, which is helping me test. And then we've got 2 bits of star kit in that siding, where they normally have a little buffet car, which is usually accompanied by a wagon. And for this I'm using one of the wagons from our club. So just get this connected. Tracks have all been cleaned as well, so we're ready to run. Also trying out a brand new Class 20 that I have acquired, so this loco will be helping to test out today. Sound fitted with Lego Biffo Man sound. Lego Man Biffo, I should say. So turntable's out of use at the moment because of how much it moves. Base needs to be pulled down so that it will line up with the rails again. Otherwise, every time a train comes on, it's tilting that end down, which moves it out of place. So, turntable for now, out of service. Also got to get these railings fixed back onto this side, which I might do after this video. So for now they'll just sit out of the way there. All point work has been tested. I've done a few quick test runs on it already today. Had to make a few alignment corrections. One of which was the one right next to the signal box, which is why there's now 6 screws quickly holding it in place whilst the glue dries. I've even had to raise this section of board, and instead of adjusting where the mount point of the bolts were on either side that line up the layout, before these bits latch them together, so you can just about see the bolt in between there. that lines up the panels. Then that latches on. So I've raised this by about 1 mil, so I had to take the screws out, remove the screws underneath this section of track, and I've put a bit of card in place instead. Then remounted the screws, and that's taken the slope that was here out and has now straightened up this section of track, which took me the best part of 30 minutes to do, or longer. So yeah, I'll follow the first train into the platform, or not into the platform. Yeah, I'll bring the class 30 up, so let's rev her up. Do some track changes. Okay, so she dropped the train a little bit early there. So let's just slide that on. Okay, so on an actual show, we'd have the wrecker carriages here, as this track and this track are on the siding line. We'd probably have a wrecker coaches here, and we might have that one empty for changing a set of train over. So this one, that one, that one, that one, and that one are all mainline tracks. So here we would now just couple this train on, and then the engine will just take it back down to the platform. Once it's down there, we head to where that person is. Just slightly overshot, so we have to bring it back a bit. Okay, so we reverse slightly, take the pressure off the coupling. And then like that, the engine is decoupled with no intervention from anyone. Then we park her in the head shunt. Just check if they're coupled, which they did not actually couple. Oop. So that's basically the runaround, which puts the engine back on the front of the train again, or the rear of the train. So we'll just run this back to the yard at this end of the layout. Oh. Obviously didn't couple up correctly. Something I'll have to keep an eye on at the show when I'm using the Pullman. And that's why you don't slow down when you go over on couplers. Right, now we'll bring the train that's in the sidings out and run that to the platform ready to be used. So we need to change a crossover. And now this class 20 will bring these 3 coaches out. Okay, they didn't go. That I did. Yeah, it's the other thing I've got to be careful of, making sure the layout's not on a slope. The stock is just going to want to roll down it. Okay, now that that's uncoupled, I'll move the wheel. Okay, with that train, I'm going to put the camera on the stand and continue testing this and see how it all plays out. If I find any other issues, I'll get them fixed, or any major issues, that is. I'm hoping not to have another one of those issues like that during, which is now not going to cause me a problem. But yeah, camera will go on the stand and I'll continue working on my testing. Fingers crossed, no further issues will arise. So I'd say that'll have to be enough testing for now. Got a few things to look into, so I'll probably be running a few more trains, but from the looks of it, I'm having a few issues on coupling height through these points. The Pullman's coupling kept catching on this rail and quite often on this rail, which is why at the end of that bit of testing I had derailment issues. Other than that, the diesel seemed to run fine, so that I'm happy with. A few other things I've got on this layout which I'm going to point out. Just bring the tablet closer. I've got multiple of these power buttons or switch buttons. So here we've got sound unit control. We've got the signal box light, which should be on right now. Doesn't appear to be. There it is. And that's done by one switch. We've got another switch on this bit of track up here, which I'll enable. And that's because in that little hole in the inspection pit, I've installed a smoke unit for any engine or steam engines that sit here and are waiting. At the moment we've got no oil in it, so it's not going to produce very much. So we'll turn that off. And then again in the platform we have another one, which is right here. So I'll enable that. That one's actually got some remaining oil in it. Of course at the moment we've got no engine sitting over it, so and if we move further along, we have the signals. So right here we've got this one. At the push of a button, we can turn that one up, and then you can see that one in the distance. We can also change that. During the testing I wasn't actually operating them, as you couldn't see them, so as for the sound unit, if I just grab the tablet and come underneath, okay, so here we've got all the relay switch units, the 4. Here we've got the semaphore signal controllers. Here we've got a little flash unit for a welder light. That'll be reinstalled at the show, so. And here is our Train Tech sound module. It's programmed up with 4 different sounds, so we've got the signal box. And this is why the relays are important, because there's a wire leaving the sound unit. To use it, you loop that through a button or a switch to turn the loop on or off. and feed it back to another one of the terminals. So 4 outputs on those relays are going straight to the sound unit. Got a guard whistle, which at some point I might reprogram. Oh, left the loop on too long there. We have the welder light nearby, so now at the same time as I activated the sound unit, that green light reappeared. They're going to 2 different relays, but both relays are coded to the same number. And then we've got background sound. Those relays are also what switch on the smoke unit, which just so happens to be that white tube right there. And then they will also switch on and off the platform lights, which are yet to be installed. I'm waiting on a major part of the platform before I know where I can space them. And then between the panels, we run these 25 pin plugs, which aren't even half being used yet, but for any future extras that are added onto the platform, like between these 2 platforms we're going to have lighting. These 2 panels here have the AC track power, my 12 volt DC bus line and my 16 volt AC bus line, as well as 3 wires for a set of points, which are the points down the very end. Then the plug at this end has the same as the plug at the other one has, but instead of just 1 set of points, it has 2 set of points, as well as the returning positive for the signal box light, as the signal box light connects to the negative line of the 12 volt bus on that side. Can sound confusing the way I've done it, but in my head it makes perfect sense. And then there we've got the underside of the signal box, so you can see the rubber band on the clamp and how it's plugged straight into the power there. So yeah, that's that. On another note, I appreciate all the comments in the previous video. I do have a fix in mind for the points on this panel. I'm going to cover a small section of this piece of track. Funny enough, all of that running didn't actually affect it today. Probably because I didn't run particular types of trains through certain directions, but at least that's not going to be an issue. Other than that, just a bit more cleaning work to do on the tracks. And should be good to go. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. If I can finish all my track work off by the end of this week, or last week by the time I probably get this video uploaded, then I'll see what I can do about some more scenic work. As long as I can get the tracks running well. Had a minor misalignment on these ones again, but it's fine. All the stock is still running over. So I've got to reheat that one in order to drop it down a bit. The other side's perfect height still. These ones are all perfect height. Just minor rework on that one. Basically, I bring the iron down in a little bit, heat it, and reposition it. Thanks to going to the soldering technique, that's all it's going to be, rather than lifting it and then re-gluing it in place. So, much more simple. If the other locations give me any more grief, then they're going to go that way too. Also be making use of one of my 12 volt outlets whilst this video was going on. Well, I was running low on power, so I had to plug it in. And this is a 3D printed tablet holder. This basically, on the day of the show, hangs on the back. And we can put the tablet on the back. Not very ideal here because limited amount of space. So again, thank you for all your comments on the previous video. If you have any questions or anything you just want to say, feel free to comment. And feel free to subscribe to keep up to date with the layout. And feel free to follow us on the Facebook page. But for today, I'm going to keep going. See how much more I can get done.